Katrina here from Scrappy Horses. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So happy you're here today. I'm working on a project for Path of Positivity, and the theme is inspired by texture. And I thought, okay, well, how do I want texture to inspire my project? So I thought about it a while, and I thought, okay, I'm going to make a bag because I love to make gift bags, and I thought that would be really fun. So I'm starting off with a popcorn box, microwave popcorn box, some handles from an old gift bag that was torn, so I just ripped them off of there, and some old paper from my stash. It's from my ColorBok collection. So it's not thick cardstock, it's more like paper, and you'll be able to see that as you watch me fold it around this box, that it's pretty thin. I started out by leaving the tabs, the tear strip. I left it on top, and I'm using that as the part that folds inside my popcorn box. If I were to do this again, I would have done it differently. I would have just gone ahead and torn off my tear strip, and I would have used it just regular paper, and you'll see why later. So I went in and I marked the dimensions on the paper, as you saw. And now I'm coming in and I'm placing along those pencil lines, I am placing double score tape, and I'm putting a little ATG over the flat part of the long side of the box. Now you'll see here I am replacing the strips over my double score tape because I don't want to adhere that to the box yet. And you'll see why as we move along. I'm going to go ahead and add fabric tack just as some extra adhesion. And you can see there that I'm lifting up over there on that far side. So it is not glued down at the very end. I'm coming around the short side of the box and I'm wrapping over onto that side. I'm going to do the exact same thing now to the back side of the box. I've added all of my tape in, as you can see, and I'm going to go ahead and smear over it with my fabric tack. And I'm basically going to tape it in or adhere it onto the box the same way I did the front. So I'm leaving my tape over the other edge this time, so that as I come in and fold over, that won't grab anything. Now, right there is the reason, right there. I want to pull this side, the back side, I want to pull that underneath the front side. So I'm pulling that in nice and tight, laying it down as flat as I can, getting a nice crisp fold there. And now, carefully, I remove my double score tape liner there, add a little bit of fabric tack, and I'm just going to lay this right down over that edge, and it lays down very smoothly. I'm coming in and mitering the corners. Now, if you're not familiar with that term, all it means is I'm going to cut little triangles down to where the box is, and so it'll just make it fold in on itself a little more easily without wrinkling. That's really the only reason we do that. I'm going to fold that down. Now, as you can see, those little holes are going to show, and it's like, oh, daggone it. But so next time I won't do that. I will, not try to save any money by using the tear strip. I'll go up further, and I might still use the tear strip, but it'll go further down. Here I'm just using a traditional gift wrap method. I'm just going to bring it down over the bottom of the box. Use a little double score tape there. I folded in the two short edges first and then did the long edges. And I'm putting plenty of double score tape here along just to make sure that that stays adhered. I'm going to measure in 2 inches from each side, and then I'll come in with my crocodile and I'll punch these holes in, and that's where those handles will be put. I'll just slide those in. But first, we got to get to some more texture. Now, my paper is already textured. I think this paper is really pretty. and it was really inexpensive. I think it's retired now, but I'm sure you've probably got something like it in your stash. I am pulling around this jute ribbon. It's wide. It's a wide one. And I'll admit, it's something I ordered online, thinking I was getting something smaller because I didn't read carefully, but that's okay because it worked out great for this bag. I adhered that with some double score tape as well as my fabric tack just around the very top of the bag. And now I'm sliding in those handles, and I'm just basically looking for those holes in there, and I'm just sliding them through the lace and then through the holes. Now I'm coming in with a piece of cereal box. I basically just lined it up, marked what the length was, the measurement of the length, and then the measurement of the depth of the box. And then I took it over to my paper slicer and I cut 2 pieces of cardstock, 8.5 by 1 3/4, and then 2 that were 1 3/4 by 2 inches. And those are basically going to slide in over that top part there. It's going to hold down that part that I folded over, as well as hold down the handles of the bag. So I'm going to start out by bringing in double score tape and putting it right over the handles on the inside of the bag. I'm going to put it over all 4 of those strips of handle. All right. And you can kind of see right there, I'm just laying it over. And then what's going to happen is I will bring in the cereal box and I will take the little strips off of that tape that's holding the handles down and adhere. Then you'll get double stick where those handles are. So you'll get the stick that's on the cereal box as well as the stick that I've already put there. So here I'm coming in and I'm putting a lot of tape here. And then I'm also going to put fabric tack on it too. And then you can see here, this is where I'm taking off the liners of the tape that's over the handles. And I'm going to lay this in place and it's going to hold all that in and give it a very finished look on the inside then. All right, I'm going to come in and ink up my bows, and the paper that I used for the bows was white on the other side. So I went ahead and I inked that so that when it rolls around, it'll show pink on the inside. I'm just using double score tape. I'm being a little bit messy about this actually. I'm just wrapping it around and then using that to tape it onto the back of the bow. You can see I used a paintbrush to roll that around. I would highly recommend that. Then I'm going to come in and I've got a little bit of this paper that I've just cut into a square. I think I actually did it on my Cricut and just used shapes. The tag cut is from Close to My Heart Art Philosophy. The bow cut was from Polkadoodles. However, I actually found other ones on Cricut if you would like to use that. Leah's Summer Paper Bows, Leah's Projects, and Pretty Packages all have this same bow. And that little flower is from Wanderings. So that's also in your Cricut library. All right, my recorder shut off right after this. So you don't really get to see me assemble the whole tag. But you know what? It's not a hard tag to assemble. I basically just layered up the pieces that you see, and I glued them on with my fabric tack and a little bit of ATG. When it came time to putting on the little flower, I just used a Zig 2-way glue pen because you can really get tiny little beads with that, and that's just easier for me to manipulate. I added a little green gem, actually a big green gem, to the middle of my bow to sort of bring out that yellow green that's in the pattern of the paper that I used. The green that I used to layer on was also from that same ColorBok. I finished this bag up by attaching the tag with some brown grosgrain ribbon, and that added a little more texture to the bag. So I had texture in the paper. I had texture in the bow, the paper of the bow. I had texture in my jute ribbon around the top, and then a little more in the grosgrain ribbon. Well, here's a close-up of that tag on the box so you can get an idea of how that all went together, and there's a little space for the to and from. Hey, thanks for joining me today. I appreciate your time. Have a wonderful week, and I'll catch up with you in the next video. Bye.